Thank you for joining us today. Let's begin by getting into our mindful body. Looking for a posture that's strong and straight and relaxed. Maybe close to where you're practicing, you've got a big tree. And let's visualize that tree. Imagine climbing to the very top and the vantage you get from up there. Noticing the intricacy and all the little critters, the denizens that make it their home. Stretching down through the root system. Imagine following the trail of a root, sometimes hundreds of meters away from the tree, giving it stability and nutrients and water. The top and bottom united. The usefulness and purpose secure and known. The intricacy and delicacy of the architecture available for our admiration if we choose to look. As we cycle through the rest of our mindfulness anchors, the breath, listening, awareness of the body, let's get right into our intention for the day, and that is receiving heartfulness. I have to open my eyes every once in a while to make sure I am managing the computer properly. If you have a pen and paper handy to journal some thoughts that arise, that's welcome. It's not necessary. But sometimes our interrupting thoughts, they're so darn consistent and repetitive that if we just take a minute to write down a quick summary of the thought, it stops coming back during practice. We've got it down somewhere, we can come back to it later. So if you've got something on your mind that's returning, make a quick note of it. It'll be there waiting when we finish. And the act of writing will allow us to focus on highest and best for this short practice. Let's call to mind an important relationship. It can be with a loved one, friend, colleague, pet. It doesn't have to be a perfect supporting relationship. In this physical world of conditions, the relationships are always give and take, always flowing, always changing. So any important relationship will do. It can be a relationship you admire or a relationship you'd like to improve. Let's imagine our loved one saying to us, I wish you kindness. I wish you ease. I wish for you love and joy. I wish for you fulfillment and success. Health, ease in mind and body, comfort in this world. Imagine your loved one offering you these beautiful gifts of mindful attention. That's our most precious gift we can give one another. Imagine this offering with an open heart that holds nothing back. And let's just take several deep breaths into the abundance of loving kindness. Because the more you give, the more there is. It's not like a pizza where you run out. Let's breathe deeply into this abundance of spirit, acknowledging that the gifts of spirit are in the currency of love and they don't run out. They are abundant. The more we have, the more we give. The more we give, the more we have. It's so different than our world of physical suffering, where basically all beings are struggling to turn sunlight into food. And our time in loving kindness, the receipt of it, is our experience of unconditional love. Let's continue to bask in this for several moments in silence, coming back to the breath, being mindful of any distracting thoughts or emotions, allowing them to pass, or giving ourselves permission to jot them down if that's helpful. And for my loved one, I'm actually visualizing the unconditional love of God and Holy Spirit suffusing me, my thoughts, my breath, my mind, my eyes. And so you're welcome to call upon higher power if you like, because that's our most important relationship. As we practice returning to the breath, breathing deeply into the abundance of receiving loving kindness, notice where we feel resistance, where we feel unworthy to receive loving kindness. Because we're not perfect, because we're not healthy, because we're not something. allow these to be acknowledged compassionately. Yes, they are real in our minds because of habit, but they are not true. The thoughts of unworthiness, whereby we deny ourselves the unconditional love that's available in spirit. Be compassionate about having believed something that's not true for so long. It's the way of our world. Be committed to receiving it one breath at a time, even if it's hard, even if every breath requires refocus. Breathing deeply and releasing any places in the body where we're collecting tension. The belly. The hands. The face. And shoulders. Moving through our other anchors of listening and feeling. And returning to our intention for today, receiving loving kindness. Notice how wonderful it feels to receive unconditional loving kindness. Feels like I can raid the 7-Eleven of all the candy and Slurpees I want. Feels very abundant and decadent. And if it's hard, welcome to the club. It is hard to receive unconditional love. We have very long-standing habits of punishing ourselves for unworthiness. And let's take a few more breaths in silence to bring our practice to a close. Feel free to continue on after we end our meeting. If you would like to journal any thoughts of resistance, now is a very fruitful time to bring that out. And thank you for sharing this practice with me today. I will post a podcast and video later. We have one more Zoom meeting before we wrap up for summer, and over the summer I'll set up some in-person meditations either in the Mid-Sun Field or Fish Creek Park. So I would love to meet any of our participants here in person, and wishing you all the best for a wonderful Sunday. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.